Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Saco City Council meeting for January 5th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Would like to make note of all members present this evening with the exception of Councilor Johnston, who has been excused, and as City Administrator Pelletier this evening. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you, everyone. Item 4 this evening under General, we do not have anything listed, but I do have 2 acknowledgments that I'd like to make. First off, I would like to formally introduce and welcome our new City Administrator, Ryan Pelletier. Ryan brings a combination, Ryan brings a combination of municipal, county, and economic development experience to us, and we all look forward to working together to move Saco forward in a positive nature and to continue on the advancements that we have already done forward. Thank you, Ryan, and welcome. Second off, a very special acknowledgement is I would like to thank Emily Cole Prescott, who has been our interim city administrator for the past 4 months. Emily has been vital in keeping both the city and the council on track and moving forward. She transitioned into the position and didn't miss a step. I am thankful and grateful for her guidance and her knowledge, and as she steps into her role as Deputy City Administrator, I am looking forward to working with her on her continued work as she puts forth for the betterment of Saco and for all of his residents. Thank you, Emily. And Emily, if you would step forward, I have a small gift for you. We can't say thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you for bearing with me on that. I appreciate it. And moving on to item number 5, that is committee correspondence to council. Are there any committee members wishing to speak? Okay, not seeing anyone seeking recognition. Moving on to item number 6, that is public comment. We do have 2 members signed up this evening. First off, we do have Kelly Archer. If you would please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to address the council.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kelly Archer, 185 Bradley Street. Tonight is a significant night for Saco. Mr. Pelletier, on behalf of many engaged residents who care deeply about the integrity of our local government, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you. Welcome. You come to us with an impressive 25-year resume and a reputation for steady leadership. Frankly, that is exactly what we have been looking for. You are joining us at a pivotal moment. Saco has seen significant turnover, and many of us have spent years advocating for a culture of strict compliance with local, state, and federal laws. Our welcome gift to you is our commitment to accountability. We want you to be the most successful administrator in Saco's history. To achieve that, we believe success must be defined by more than just balanced budgets. It must be defined by a culture of unwavering compliance. In our city charter, specifically Section 3.04, you are charged with the faithful execution of our laws. To a newcomer, that might sound like a standard fine print, but to this community, which has been active in seeking transparency and accountability through petitions and grievances, those words are a promise. We are looking for a leader who ensures that the Saco way of doing business is synonymous with the legal way of doing business, from the front desk to the executive offices. We know you have the authority under our administrative code to set the tone for every department. Our request is simple. Help us move past the era of workarounds and bring us into an era of best practices. We want a city hall that is as approachable as it is accountable. We aren't just here to watch, we are here to support a culture where the rules apply to everyone equally every time. If that is your mission, you will find no stronger allies than the citizens in this room and on video. Welcome to Saco, Mr. Pelletier. We look forward to seeing how your leadership will restore full public confidence in our city's operations. We are rooting for you, and we look forward to working alongside you to make our governance as exceptional as our community. Welcome.
Thank you. Next on the list, we do have Phil Hatch.
Good evening, Phil Hatch, 19 Evergreen Drive. I did want to just step up to the podium and briefly express support for action item C. It happens to be one of those carryover items from the previous council that we worked very hard on. And I also wanted to give a public shout out, he's not here unfortunately, to Councillor Johnston, who was really, I think, the catalyst in moving this forward. So from my perspective, what you see in front of you tonight is a very, very well-honed document. I also wanted to come up here and publicly speak to our new city administrator, having been part of the city council that unanimously supported your hiring as our next city administrator. I just wanted to publicly come and welcome you to the city of Saco. Your predecessor, John Bohenko, who I'm sure you've been in contact with, we love John, he worked successfully during his brief tenure to move our municipal government forward in a very positive direction. I'm optimistic that you will continue that momentum as we seek to put the errors and omissions of the past behind us and focus exclusively on the many great things yet to come for this city. I know you are seeking a new and challenging chapter in your professional life, and I think you've arrived at a very opportune time. And if you haven't realized it already, the city is blessed with many very competent department heads and staff members. They need leadership and guidance to help bring their best individual attributes to the table, and I'm very confident that you will foster that type of work environment for them. And finally, to follow up with the mayor's comments for the first time on this side of the dais, I would like to publicly thank Deputy City Administrator Emily Cole Prescott for stepping up and steering this very complicated ship we call city government on a straight path during her interim city administrator role. As a city councilor, I witnessed firsthand the extensive time and professional effort she put into her interim role. She worked very hard to clean up as many lingering issues as she could to give you as clean a slate as possible to start with. So Emily, the city of Saco is very fortunate to have you on our municipal governance team. And Ryan, I suspect she is the one staff person most relieved that you are now on the job. My best wishes to you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak, please step forward, state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to address council.
Good evening. My name is Inga Brown. I live at 161 Simpson Road in Ward 1. My comments this evening are centered on site plan applications. I know that's the purview of the planning board and not this body, but it falls under the category of best practices. Some of you know that I'm a high school English teacher, and that means that my work is based on standards. Standards in reading and writing, standards in public speaking, and I'm very well versed in the process of standards. And standards mean good process, standards mean consistency, and in my experience, having attended planning board meetings really beginning in 2016 So it's about 10 years, and I have attended meetings now with 4 different planners, not including our new planner. And I've seen a real Achilles heel that I feel needs attention. And that is a site plan application when an applicant is filing for an amendment or a revision. They already have a site plan application, but they're coming back to the planning board for a revision. If you've never been to the planning department's on the website, perhaps you have, I would suggest you go there. The site plan application, it is one application. There is not a separate application for a revision. There is a wonderful cover letter welcoming applicants. There is a checklist, and the checklist is about 4 pages long. 6 pages long. And this checklist covers, obviously, technical submissions, schematics, you name it. It's a very thorough checklist. And clearly, for a revision to a site plan, many items on this checklist do not apply. They do not pertain. But what has happened is, under different planners, the culture or the philosophy is, well, let's just see what the applicant submits. Let's just see. We'll see what they put in their application. This has resulted in very, very glaring and inconsistent process. And there's an example from last month, November 4th at the Planning Board. I believe that was Councilor Hatch's last meeting, if I remember correctly. And this was an application. It doesn't matter right now what it was for, but it was a site plan amendment. And the application was vacuous. It was anemic. There were no blueprints, no schematics. This was for $1 million project. And how and why, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm looking at the facts, how and why that application was deemed complete by city planning staff at the time is questionable. And it created a lot of chaos for the planning board, for the applicant, and for members of the public. So as it stands now, there is one application with one checklist. And I think that means that that checklist pertains and is applicable. And
You are 20 seconds over, Inga.
Thanks, I'll stop. The applicant, in conversation with and consultation with planning staff, there needs to be clarity, and it's about standards and consistency. And, and that's what this is about. So I'm not exactly sure how this moves forward, how you as council, I want to bring it to your attention. It is not to be put on the back burner. Site plan amendments, site plan applications are critical applications, and an amendment or a revision process should follow a standard operating procedure with consistency, reliability for all involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Okay, not seeing anyone seeking recognition. Moving on to item 7, that is the approval of the minutes. We do have 2 sets of minutes, December 1st, 2025 and December 8th, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And that was Councilor Edwards?
That was me.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilor Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Parks. Any discussion or comment on the minutes? Okay, not seeing any. Roll call vote. Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Councilor Parks?
Yes.
Councilor Onen?
Yes.
Councilor Gale?
Yes.
And Councilor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, moving on to item 8, that is the consent items. Item A is the appointment of vacant Ward 3 warden and ward clerk positions for the upcoming January 13th, 2026 special election. And item B is the confirmation of the mayor's appointment to the Maine Municipal Association Legislative Policy Committee of Ryan Pelletier. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilor Parks. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Hewitt. Any discussion or moving of either item? Okay, roll call vote. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Anand?
Yes.
Counselor Gale?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 9, that is the action items this evening. Item A is the public hearing for the renewal application for a special entertainment permit for River Winds events, and that is Counselor Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor. Beth Austin, owner of Riverwind Farm and Estate, doing business as RW Events, has applied for a renewal of the establishment's special entertainment permit. The permit will be concurrent with the establishment's liquor license. The applicant has paid all applicable permit fees, and the clerk has properly advertised the public hearing in accordance with the Saco City Code, Chapter 93, Entertainment, subsection 93-2. The clerk has also checked with Code Enforcement, Finance Department, Fire Department, Police Department, and Planning Department, and there were no concerns. I move to open the public hearing.
Thank you. Motion has been made by Counselor Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Parks. Roll call vote. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Anand?
Yes.
Counselor Gale?
Yes.
And Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion to open the public passes 5-0 at 6:46. If there are any members of the public wishing to speak, please step forward, state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to address council.
Good evening. Inga Brown, 161 Simpson Road, Ward 1, in the Rural Conservation Zone. Council, I have submitted correspondence on this item last week to Code Enforcement Officer Toomey, to Ms. Prescott as interim city administrator, and then this afternoon, I followed up as well. It's a public hearing. I want to be very clear that my comments are directly to you, the body, as the council. I have no personal, this is not personal, I have no personal comments about River Winds. There's no ill intention here in my comments. Again, I have been someone who has been involved with contract zones here in Saco for a while as an abutter, over 10 years with a contract zone. I have followed very closely contract zones in Saco, compliance, amendments, and of course, as you well know, we have a difficult situation with the inadvertent repeal by council of the 1985 zoning ordinance. So I'm sure you're all well versed, even new councilors, but in January of 2021, inadvertently, this council, not you, but the body of the council then, inadvertently repealed the zoning ordinance. And when that happened, in the zoning ordinance, all of those contract zones were repealed. That's common knowledge, and Attorney Katsiavikis had agreed with that in the opinion. Now, I believe that staff, in their review, which was lengthy and thorough, there are lots of little things that miss the radar screen. So when that was repealed in January of 2021, all of those contract zones were repealed. Those zones are no longer in existence. The zoning ordinance has been repealed. Well, there are many contract zone holders in Saco, and when River Winds Farm, through correct process, came to this body for a legislative amendment to their contract zone, that was in August of 2021. That's 7 months after the repeal of the zoning ordinance. The council had not yet been aware of the repeal of the zoning ordinance. Therefore, the council moved forward. They approved the amendment that was requested by River Winds, and that request was to clarify conditions and restrictions in their contract zone, specifically around self-sponsored events. The 2021 amendment was to clarify that River Winds may hold a maximum of 20 self-sponsored events. Those are events open to the public. That amendment, because it was 7 months after the repeal, and the contract zone does not exist anymore. You cannot amend a contract zone agreement for a contract zone that does not exist. So, the question before you tonight, you have
Just to notice that you are 20 seconds over.
Thank you. Tonight you have a very simple special entertainment permit in front of you. I do not contest at all that River Winds doesn't have a right to that special entertainment permit. However, that special entertainment permit is only for those activities that are valid under their previous contract zone agreement that was dated 2017. So what that means is they had an active and approved contract zone in 2017. It allowed for a place of public assembly.
You are over a minute over, and
I'm going to wrap it up. This testimony is important. Public assembly, you can have weddings, you can have anniversary parties, you can have horse shows. These are contracted events with clients. You know who is coming to your property.
Okay, Inga, we are at 1:20 over. I am going to ask you to wrap it up now.
The amendment to have self-sponsored events, a legislative act by this council, was in 2021 of August. That amendment is not valid. It does not exist. It is not tied to that contract zone anymore.
Okay, we are at 1:45 now.
So your
Public
job,
hearing is 3 minutes, just like regular comment.
your job this evening, when you look at the special entertainment permit, it can only be for those activities that were valid under the 2017 contract zone amendment.
Okay, Inga, thank you. We are 2 minutes over. That is,
I appreciate it. This is,
I've allowed 2 minutes over the 3 minute.
I don't contest that, Mayor McPhail. This is difficult information.
I
It's
understand that, but you
complicated.
have 3 minutes, just like any public comment.
I don't think
And I've
there are-
allowed 2 minutes over.
Will you allow for a second round if no one else speaks?
It cannot be on the same item.
If I
Or
bring
the
for-
same, you have to bring.
I can bring forward new information. I believe that's accurate.
I will allow an additional 30 seconds, if you can wrap it up in that amount of time.
I'm going to stop here because I've lost my train of thought, but I'm hoping that you will have the public hearing open if there are no other speakers. Thank you.
You have your opportunity to speak now, Inga. We usually do one at a time. I asked you to wrap it up in the course of 2 minutes, and you could not wrap it up to complete it in 2 minutes. Your time to speak is over. We allow one time up under the same item. If you would like an additional 30 seconds to get your final comments, then I will allow that.
When the public hearing remains open, members of the public may come up for a second round if they speak on something separate. That is in the...
If you wish to speak on something separate, you can come up, or a different item than what you are approaching now.
Correct. I agree.
Okay. Okay, if there are any other members of the public wishing to speak, please step forward.
Hello again, Kelly Archer, 185 Bradley Street. I'm going to go off the cuff a little bit, and I would like to add a little bit on this particular subject. Besides the new Ward 4, Ward 5, and city administrators, city officials have repeatedly heard me state that all contract zone agreements and their applicable amendments should be comprehensively compared and reviewed by legal counsel prior to being delegated to a contract zone bucket, box, category, and before being brought forward to the council or planning board. The reason for this, for all these months, years that I've been advocating for this, is I have reviewed all 50 of those contract zones before it became on the city website with the amendments. When you look at the language and you read the dates and you read the preambles, there's a lot of legalities that the planning board and/or council should not be adhering to, listening to, until that legal comprehensive is done on every single one. Many of them were not signed. They were not executed. There's problems throughout it all. As Ms. Brown said, on this particular one, it was 8 months after. If you look in your packet, you will see that in the language of August of 2021. So it is very important that, Mr. Pelletier, under your lane, is to be able to look at all those contract zones. There are legalities that are going to continue to get the city into continued problems, legalities, and it will come up and the egg will be on the face of the city. And the taxpayers will be paying for it. I can give you the ones that are problematic. There's more than a handful, and these are big ones. So as far as the special entertainment, when it is the legality of the contract zone of 2017, what is allowed, that is what you have to base it upon. And again, I'm only for due process, accountability, compliance, and please stop ignoring, circumventing, or violating local and state and federal laws. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak?
Inga Brown, 161 Simpson Road. I will speak on other topics. I'm going to read a paragraph to you from Attorney Katsavikius' opinion that was given to the city. This is from May 12th of 2025. It's in your packet, and this was presented to council.
Is this in regards to the contract zone?
I'm reading from his letter, yes.
In regard to the contract zone that you previously were speaking about?
Yes.
This does not qualify as a different topic or as a different aspect to the public hearing?
This is his opinion on a specific topic related to the contract zone.
All right, go ahead.
Therefore, to the extent that persons and businesses timely acted under those contract zone agreements to obtain required land use approvals and permits, and then constructed the buildings, developments, and uses allowed by those agreements before the repeal, the buildings, developments, and uses most likely are protected as lawful, non-conforming structures or uses. Riverwinds Farm is a non-conforming legal use, a non-conforming use. It has every...
Okay, this is in relation to your previous, so I will ask you to wrap it up.
The key language here is before the repeal. I'd like to just note that, and that you have that documentation. You cannot act on a permit tonight related to the contract zone amendment from 2021 of August. It is invalid, it is non-compliant, and the courts will not care that you didn't know that in August of 2021. The council rejected that contract zone ordinance. It is an invalid permit tonight for events that are self-sponsored. The other events...
Okay, Inga, I'm asking you to please wrap this up.
My other comments, on different topic. My other comment was in my follow-up letter to Mr. Toomey. I did ask for the date of completion of the plumbed bathroom. He did not include that in his original letter. He said the bathroom is up to code and has been approved, but there was no date on that. I would like to know the date of that approval. And as I noted in the letter on a different topic, there does seem to be on public websites and social media 6 additional self-sponsored events that were open to the public that were not included in Mr. Toomey's report. These events may have been canceled, they may have been postponed, but by all accounts on public documents, available to anyone on the website, there were 6 additional self-sponsored events that were not included in Mr. Toomey's report.
Okay, you are over your second 3 minutes. I
It
am
is
going to
about-
ask you to finish at this time.
It is about compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Okay, not seeing any recognition. Councilor Edwards?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to close the public hearing and be it ordered that the City Council grant the renewal application submitted by Beth Austin, owner of Riverwinds Farm and Estate, doing business as RW Events, for a special entertainment permit for events as per the Riverwinds Contract Zone Agreement, and said permit to be concurrent with the establishment liquor license. I move to approve the order.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Councilor Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Hewitt. Any comments or discussions on this from council? Councilor Edwards?
Thank you, Mayor. Understanding the citizens' appeals for hesitancy on approving this permit, I'm trying to be transparent to the citizens of my ward, and the reason that I will approve or state my approval for this permit is based on the history of Riverwinds, and also the belief that now that this has again been brought to our attention, that we should be able to, as council, with the help of staff, craft some wording, some legislation, local legislation, so that we can get properly create some rules so that we can move beyond this.
Thank you. Councilor Hewitt?
I agree with Councilor Edwards that this business is run successfully without any complaints. So because of a date situation, which I agree does pose a problem, we should be able to legislate something and not punish the business which has been successful and working in good faith.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone. Roll call vote. Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Councilor Parks?
Yes.
Councilor Arnon?
Yes.
Councilor Gale?
Yes.
Councilor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, moving on to item B, that is one reading for the election of parliamentarian, and that is Councilor Parks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Rule 38, Rules and Order of Business states, at the first meeting in January, the City Council shall elect from its body a parliamentarian to serve for 1 year. The mayor and the deputy mayor would be excluded from serving in the role as parliamentarian. Be it ordered that the City Council move to elect Councilor Nathan Johnston as parliamentarian of the City of Saco for the term of 1 year commencing January 5th, 2026. I move to approve the order.
Thank you. Motion has been made by Councilor Parks to appoint Councilor Johnston as parliamentarian. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Edwards. Any discussion or comment on the item? Okay, roll call vote. Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Councilor Parks?
Yes.
Councilor Arnon?
Yes.
Councilor Gale?
Yes.
And Councilor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, moving on to item C, that is the final reading of the proposed updates to the Administrative Code, Chapter 4, Article 5, Departments and Divisions, and that is Councilor Parks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At several previous meetings, city staff presented proposed updates to Chapter 4, Article 5, Departments and Divisions of City Ordinance, along with a crosswalk document for reference. The purpose of this initiative is to update the ordinance to reflect current operations. As mentioned during the August 25th new business review, this proposed amendment has been shared with senior staff whose edits have been incorporated into this document. Throughout this review process, additional edits have been received and incorporated from city councilors. The latest edits are in response to December 15th public hearing comments. Be it ordered that the Saco City Council hereby ordains the proposed updates to Administrative Code, Chapter 4, Article 5, Departments and Divisions, as presented in the January 5th, 2026 meeting packet. I move to approve the order.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Counselor Edwards. Counselor Parks, is there a second?
Second, from Counselor
Second.
Edwards.
Counselor by second. Second by Counselor Edwards. Any discussion or comments on the item? Counselor Nunn.
Yes, I believe when we brought this up at the last meeting, we talked about eliminating the need for self-contained electrical service. I believe that language is still in the ordinance, which prohibits it from being plugged into the adjoining building if it's parking in somebody's backyard. I think we had thought we were going to take a look at that and see if that can't be modified or deleted.
Are you looking at item D, the next
Yes,
item?
yes.
Okay, we're on item C right now, the
about
administrative
that.
code.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Anyone else? Counselor Gale.
I guess just as a new council member, looking at the exhibits and the amount of time and effort that was put in by Councilor Johnston, former Councilor Hatch, and others on the council, just want to thank everybody for their hard work on this effort. I also want to note that, as was referenced, there were there were edits that were added in response to the public hearing comments, and I think this, again, kind of as a new counselor, and then kind of following this from the outside a little bit as well, I'm happy to see that engagement with the public results in action. So, I'm just happy to see staff and thank Emily Cole Prescott as well for all her hard work on shepherding a lot of this stuff through as well. So I'm happy to support this when the roll call vote happens.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call vote. Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Counselor Parks.
Yes.
Counselor Arnon.
Yes.
Counselor Gale.
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. All right, moving on to item D, and that is the first reading, amendment to Chapter 169, Recreational Vehicle Ordinance, and that is Counselor Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor. On July 14th, 2025, City Council was requested to review the Chapter 169 Recreational Vehicles Ordinance provisions to allow for the opportunity of temporary limited RV use in residential areas. Staff has drafted the attached red lines for City Council's consideration. Be it ordered that the City Council approves the first reading of the amendment to Chapter 169 Recreational Vehicles Ordinance, and further, to schedule the public hearing for January 26, 2026. I move to approve the order.
Thank you. Motion has been made by Counselor Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Parks. Any comments or discussion? Counselor Arnon.
Let me try this at the right time. I believe we had talked about language amending the integrated electrical service requirement for the RVs. If that's something that can be looked at, that'd be great. It doesn't make much sense to make sure these things are self-contained. The only way for them to do that is have a generator, which I believe is problematic on its own set. So,
And we do have Director Toomey that just stepped up to help with that.
Hi. Basically, that language we looked at, I haven't had a chance to talk to my electrical inspector because of holidays, and I was off a couple of days last week. So I talked to him this morning, and we're changing the language. So your next version will have the correct language, so it will make sure people have good electricity and someone doesn't just jury rig up something. So we'll have proper language for you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Does that help? Perfect. Any other additional comments or questions? Counselor Hewitt.
Just a quick question. I've had a few occasions where families up north driving home and they decide they're not going to make it all the way, so they do end up stopping in our driveway. I know we should file for a permit. Could there be a provision where they have the opportunity if somebody comes for one night unexpectedly, so we're not facing a penalty?
Are you speaking in regard to the homeowner getting a permit to allow them to stay if it's a
Right.
on the
right.
spot
If
kind of
it's
stopover?
unexpected, yep.
Okay.
We would treat that like somebody has an emergency, we give them a verbal permit, and they can do the paperwork afterwards.
Okay.
So they don't have to do it in advance if that comes up. We don't want to see it all the time, but we know things happen, so we can do after the fact if we need to.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone. Moving forward. Roll call vote. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Arnon?
Yes.
Counselor Gale?
Yes.
And Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, everyone. That completes the action items this evening. Moving on to item number 10, that is administrative update. Administrator Pelletier?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a few updates. New Deputy Fire Chief. The Saco Fire Department is proud to announce the appointment of Kevin DeRoss as our new Deputy Fire Chief of Logistics. Kevin began his fire service career here in Saco, serving as a junior firefighter in 1996. He served the Biddeford Fire Department as a firefighter-paramedic and later as Deputy Fire Chief from 2012 to 2022, during which he was recognized as the City of Biddeford's 2020 Employee of the Year. Most recently, Kevin served as a Deputy Chief at the Scarborough Fire Department, overseeing operations, personnel, and key administrative and logistical functions. Please join me in welcoming Deputy Fire Chief Kevin DeRoss back to Saco and congratulating him on his appointment. Downtown rules updated for snow emergency parking bans. The City of Saco has updated its snow emergency parking ban procedure to better support downtown businesses and visitors during storms. Starting this season, the following specific downtown areas are exempt from snow emergency parking bans from 7 a.m. to midnight. Main Street between Cutts Avenue and Gooch Street, as well as Cutts Avenue, Thornton Avenue, Pleasant Street, Storer Street, and Water Street between Main Street and Elm Street only. This allows residents and visitors to access downtown businesses if they remain open during a storm. We encourage everyone to stay informed during winter weather events by signing up for parking ban notifications and reviewing available public parking options on our website at sacomaine.org. Code Red emergency notification test schedule for January 15, 2026. On Thursday, January 15th at 11 a.m., the City of Saco and its emergency notification provider, Code Red, will conduct a test for the city's emergency notification system. This test will send a notification to all numbers and emails in the city's emergency notification database. If you've enrolled in Saco's Code Red emergency system or your number is in Code Red's public database, we will reach out to you with this test alert through your enrolled devices. Please visit the website sacomaine.org for more information. Local beach management plan listening session. The city invites community members to participate in a local beach management plan listening session on Thursday, January 8th at 6:30 here at Saco City Hall Auditorium. Attendees will hear updates on the first phase of the beach management plan development process and engage in interactive activities, including visual boards showing conditions along Saco's coastline and proposed interventions with space for participants to leave comments and suggestions. Please visit the website for additional information. And finally, the civic software RFP. The City of Saco is inviting proposals from qualified vendors for the implementation of the City Service Civic Platform. This initiative will modernize permitting, licensing, planning, and citizen engagement processes through a secure, cloud-based, mobile-friendly solution with robust API integrations. The deadline for submission is February 3rd. Please visit the sacomaine.org website for more information. And Madam Mayor, I had a great first day, and I too want to thank Emily for her leadership. I don't think I could have inherited a more well-run organization because of the work that she has done over the last 6-7 months, and I really appreciate, Emily, everything you've done for the city and for me personally, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for the administrator? Okay, moving on to council discussion and comments. Any councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Hewitt?
I just want to also thank Emily Cole Prescott for her service as interim city manager. Stepping into that role is no small task, especially during a period that required steadiness, clarity, and a calm hand. Emily brought all three. Her leadership style is thoughtful, grounded, her communication clear and respectful, and her commitment to this community is unmistakable. She kept the organization moving forward, supported staff, and worked collaboratively with council. Always professional and graceful. On behalf of the council and the community, thank you, Emily, for your service, your dedication, and for leaving the city well-positioned for what comes next. We are truly grateful.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilor Edwards?
Thank you, Emily. I didn't want to be left out. Is this a place, I'm concerned, I do want to follow up, I just don't know how to put it into motion, but I think, should we be reaching out to a lawyer to, or legal to look at how we codify the, the situation with Riverwinds or any former contract zone that, like, we need to tie up some of these loose ends. And I'm afraid that we, it's a very valid point with the timing, even though it seems, for some, it may seem minuscule, but it is an issue. We need to be able to tie that up. So how do we go about that?
Deputy Administrator Prescott, do you want to, where you've been through this whole process from start with us?
Yeah, so we can certainly work with city administration to tie that up and get legal opinions specific to that item and go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone seeking recognition. Moving on to item 12, that is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Hewitt. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Edwards. Roll call vote. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Arnon?
Yes.
Counselor Gale?
Yes.
And Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn passes 7:16 at 7:16, 5-0. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great evening.